What's up? This is Deepak, the two-wheel wanderer, and this is the first time that I'm coming this way in front of all of you guys. And I've just started this channel about a month back. This is something which is giving me a lot of satisfaction when I see around 40-50 views in all of my videos. So I'm sure if I'm going to be at it, I'm surely going to improve. So the reason why I'm here in front of you all is that I was just going to put a series of videos on my vlog regarding what I do and how I do. For example, how I record my videos, how I use the attachments available for me for the action camera, and how do I process my videos, edit them. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but these videos will be useful for people who are about to purchase a bike and thinking about going into this field of motovlogging. So here in the first part, I would like to talk about the camera I use. When I went out looking for an action camera in the market back in 2014, I bought this camera in February 2014. So, at that point of time, this segment, the action camera segment, was heavily dominated by the GoPros. Sony action cam was the one fitting to my budget. You know, the price difference between a Sony action cam and a GoPro Hero 3 at that particular time was about 7,000 rupees. The GoPro was costing me at about 32,000 rupees, and the Sony action cam is HDR AS30V was costing me about 24,000 rupees. So guys, in this video I'll be showing you the Sony HDR AS30V that I used for my recordings. And initially the camera comes with the waterproof housing, which you can see, and this you can see the velcro which is attached to the side of this camera, and a similar velcro is attached to the side of the helmet. So this is pretty much what you get. Other than this, you get two attachments, mounts, one with a curved surface and one with a flat surface, which you can use. So this is opened after pushing these two buttons and then taking it out like this. And this is the Sony HDR AS30V right in front of you. So here you can see it is pretty much messed up due to all the arrangements that I had to do fitting to my purpose. And okay, let's start from the back side. This you can see here is a recording. This is the LED which blinks when the recording is on. This is the main record button, and this button here is one which is used to lock up this particular button. See, what happens is at times you accidentally hit this button and the recording is on when you don't want it to record anything. So for that, those times you switch this button towards your left, and then this button gets locked. So this is and then you flip it over, it opens up like this. Here you see a 2730 mAh of battery, which gives a pretty much a good life of the recording. At 1080p, the highest quality video, it lasts somewhere close to 4 to 5 hours, which is a very good backup. Then you have a mini SD card with a storage capacity of 30 GB here. So on to the other side, here you see the display. You see the NFC sign. It is NFC capable, NFC compatible. It is having a Wi-Fi facility also. So when you switch it on, you see the first menu you see is the current settings of the video that it will record when you hit the record button. See, so current settings are 1080p, 1080, 30p, and this is the amount of time that you can record on based on the memory which is left in the card. So when you press next, you go to the photo menu. This camera is also having a photo mode where you can click photographs, and you can also select intervals at which it will keep clicking photograph as long as camera is switched on. So this is the amount of photographs which you can click presently from this camera. So when you press next, this is the interval mode where you can set any of the intervals, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, and this is the amount of photos which are left. Storage capacity, depending on the storage capacity that this camera can click. Next is the most important, the setup menu. You enter using this record button. The first option is video. You enter again, and here you see all the different modes in which you can get your video recorded. This is the highest mode, which is the 1080 60p PS, then 1080p 30p high quality, the 720 30p standard, the 720 60p slow motion, and the 720 120p super slow motion. There is also a VGA mode, which is 480 30p. Then you go back. You click next. This is a steady mode. You enter this particular menu, you switch it on, you switch it off, or you go back. Angle. This is the angle which the camera covers in front of it. You enter this particular menu, you see the options: 120 degree of area that can be covered, or 170 degree of area that can be covered. So you go back. Next is the flip. Flip is the option for the times where you have to, attach your camera upside down onto something where it is not able to put it upright, so you put it upside down. In those cases, you have to switch this flip mode on, so when you get the video out finally, the video will be upright, it will not be flipped upside down. So for those times, the flip option can be switched on. Next is the scene. Scene is basically to choose between normal recording or underwater recording. So back. Next is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is basically to connect this particular camera to any Android device where you have the Sony application installed, the Sony Play Memories application, which is compatible with this device. And once it is connected to that device, the display is shown in that particular device, and then you can control some functions using that Android application, the record on, record off button, or you can transfer videos onto that particular device. So this function is quite handy. Next is the GPS. Switch the GPS on, you find that when you're recording the video, the longitude and latitude information are also getting recorded along with the video, and when you finally process the video onto the Sony Play Memories application on your Windows or Android device, you can put this GPS information as a display form in a display format onto your videos. That I will be showing in future videos. Now this is plane. Plane is off, back, on. This is basically plane aeroplane mode, which you switch it on just to not to interfere with any of the navigation devices when you are on the plane. So coming down at the bottom, you see this open area. It is actually comes up with this flap, which covers this particular area like this. I had to cut it off just to accommodate my 3.5mm jack while the camera is inside the case. That was a bit of stupidity, actually, if you ask me. There could be a hole drilled into this flap for my 3.5mm jack, which can then could be entered in this jack. So I basically did a foolish thing by taking it out. So anyways, I just waterproofed the two slots, the HDMI slots and the other slot, which are not used that much. I haven't used them in like 4 years. So only jacks I need is a 3.5mm audio jack and a USB-C type with which I can transfer my files. So these are the only two jacks. So onto this side, this is the username and password of the Wi-Fi whenever you connect it to any other Android device. And what you see here is a little bit of foam material which I put just to keep this camera steady inside the case. It was having a little bit of area left over into this side, due to which the camera was shaking a bit inside. So I put this particular material just to keep it tight inside the packing. So now coming on to the waterproof casing, this is no more waterproof since I had to drill a hole onto this casing just to accommodate my 3.5mm jack audio mic onto this camera. And the problem is with the Sony action cams that there is no arrangement for in the camera body for any mount. You see it comes like this. There is no arrangement for this particular camera to be mounted on any of the mountings like this. It has to be inserted into the casing, and the casing, because it had to be waterproof, it does not have any kind of space from where I can put the mic inside the camera. So it is quite a letdown from Sony. So I had to drill a hole, and I had to compromise on the waterproof abilities of this particular camera. So now when I put this camera inside and just lock it up for a bit, and even the locking thing of this camera is quite a bit annoying at times. It gets a bit annoying. So yeah, I got it locked. So when you lock it up, now you see there is a hole with which I can through which I can put my 3.5mm audio jack inside, and then this camera like this gets attached to the side of the helmet, and the audio jack gets attached below this, and then the mic could be placed inside the helmet in front of the mouth of the rider. So this is pretty much it about the Sony action cam. You can see outside the casing you have these options to press the previous and next button, and behind you have this record button, and if you press this button all the way to its right, this locks this record button and this switch is open again. Sony does offer a lot of accessories along with the cameras, but they are at a price. So I preferred to go for cheaper accessories. So I went down to the eBay and bought this particular package, the e-kit, one kit, one idea. This was basically was made for all kinds of action cams, and I've got around 7 to 8 mounts along with it. I got one with the suction mount. As you can see, it can be fixed onto the glass surface, and there is a section pad along with it. You can stick this pad to any of the glass surface and then attach the mount on this. I got a stick, the selfie stick, which could be extended, I think about 3 to 4 meters, and it's very durable, very good. Next I got was a shoulder strap. This particular strap could be put around your shoulders, and then the camera would come somewhere around here at this place. We had was a handlebar mount. As you can see, this can be mounted on any of the handlebar of motorcycle or cycles. Next I have a tripod on which the camera is presently recording this video. So these are the kit, and also with that I had a helmet mount which I had to strip off its straps and use the adhesive attached to the mount to attach to this particular helmet, and you can see it is there on the top of this helmet. So these are all the mounts that I bought, and I bought them from eBay at a cost of around 2,700 rupees. So for most of you, for those of you who are planning to buy action cam in the near future, it is going to be a tough choice, because Sony, although lags a bit in the accessory front, it is definitely having a better image output. The waterproof capabilities of GoPro is obviously far better than the Sony action cam, but at the same time, for the same specifications that you have in a GoPro, you will be paying less in a Sony action cam. So the choice is yours, guys. The only problem with the camera attached on the top of the helmet was that if you want to attach an audio cable along with it, that is the mic along with it, because most of the times when you're recording a video, you want to add your voice into it, you want to add narration to whatever going on in front of you. So for that, if you want to attach an audio cable onto that camera, it was pretty difficult to do so while the camera is mounted on the top of the helmet. So for that, I wanted to mount the camera onto the side of my helmet, where I could easily attach audio cable and the mic could come right in front of my mouth under the helmet. So for that, I researched a lot of YouTube videos and finally honed on to one particular Jugaad, as you can say. See, this is the heavy duty Velcro that I used, and there is still one strip left in it, and this is the crotch fasteners, heavy duty, and it's very useful. When I went online and tried searching for these heavy duty fasteners, I could find it only on eBay, and that too they were shipped to me from all the way from New York. So that took a lot of time. I think about 10 to 15 days it reached to me, and costed me somewhere around 4,400 rupees. I'll just show you that. If you can see, this is what you see on my helmet right here, are the heavy duty Velcro, and these are two strips which are being attached onto the side of my helmet, and similar strip, one of the similar strip is there on the side of my camera. So the camera can be on the housing, waterproof housing of the camera. The camera can be put inside the housing, and that the entire camera can be attached to this Velcro. And the good thing about it is that it is very durable, and you can hold the camera, and you can easily see that it does not let it go, and it is very sturdy. Second advantage is that you can easily manipulate and adjust the position of the camera and the angle at which it is there onto the side of the helmet. So this is how I went about putting this camera onto the side of the helmet.